And we're on air. Welcome everyone to our this and our this. This is Table Reads on ScriptCamp, hosted by me, your host, Gray. What we do here, for anyone who is not familiar, we take submissions from our members and read them here, and then we give them feedback. That's our thing. And we give out currency here on the server in the form of script coins. It's not actual currency, it's just like stuff you can use here to buy merchandise if you choose, or if you have 100 script coins, you can buy your very own full-length TV pilot or feature reading at this very event. As we're doing today, we're actually going to read a full-length TV pilot. We bring up the blurb on the coin. There we go. Thank you. There we are. So yeah, there it. Oh man, I don't think I've met you yet. Thank you, Ilotskan Mayonnaise. I'll figure out how to pronounce that later. But yes, there it is. Information on script coins. But you can read the script on Joel. Joel is your friend who you don't know. PDF. Is PDF here today?
No. PDF has died.
Alright. No, that's so sad. F in the chat for PDF. Well, if you want to read the script on stream, you can click on Joel's stream, or if you would like to download and view the script on your own computer, you can go to the Table Reads info channel and download it there. Today we are reading the script Wretch from Paul. I accidentally added numbers to the username because I keep forgetting that Discord changed stuff recently. But yes, this is Wretch from Paul. This is a fantasy action TV pilot. The logline is, when vengeful spirits attack the town, a young witch must join forces with a naive human to protect it. Feedback we're looking for. Would you continue to watch this if it was a show? Content warning for gore and self-harm. Anything to add before we start, Paul?
Yeah, this is like the last draft before I really make a huge story change to it. As far as like adding a lot of stuff. So any like ideas or feedback in that department of like what you'd like to see would be like highly appreciated.
Thank you, Paul. Hang on. I meant to add a sock to my microphone before we started today. You mute for a second. How do I sound now? Am I muffled at all?
No, you're good. Just so
okay, great.
Username beginning with E. We can't use will work commands and things like that. We just don't use them. So it's just the balance commands that we use.
You're cutting. Yeah.
What? I didn't do anything to my mic. Yeah, I was just saying. I didn't put myself on. Yeah, we don't use the work commands and things like that. Is what I was saying to E, whatever their username is.
Don't use which command?
The work command. Someone tried to use work.
Okay.
That's all. Sorry.
Got it. Okay, great. Let's wait. Yeah. If I do sound weird at any point, just let me know, but I don't know why I didn't think of the sock on microphone thing earlier. That's like voice actor thing 101. And not even the voice actor.
More like a mesh stocking, really.
I mean, I don't know. I'm using a men's dress sock, but I'll address that later. We'll be fine. We're going to start with character assignment now. I've given myself some of these characters. I found like a strategy where I just voice a bunch of the extra characters, which cuts down on the number of people we need. As long as I can, it doesn't have to be, but ideally I would get someone else to read direction for me. So we'll see how that goes. If you're going to be reading direction, just keep in mind that you'll be doing most of the talking for this script. So make sure you can be here the entire time and that you're willing to talk quite a bit and read quite a bit. So yeah. Okay, I think, yes. I'll be playing Guard 1, Man 1, Elijah, and Creature. So this leaves us, first of all, with direction. Is anyone brave enough to take on direction for this script? Speak up and I will cast you. Brum, bum.
I'll take it if nobody wants it.
Oh, thank you, Zach.
What, Morgana?
Wait,
If you want, like, I was just gonna do it because no one else was saying it, but it's fine.
I mean,
I did last
Oh.
week, so let Morgana take it.
okay then. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Morgana. Morgana, I've cast you as direction. I believe in you. Keep a glass of water nearby, ideally. But yeah, Morgana will do direction. Who wants to do the character Rachel? You'll also have to be very involved. Anyone?
Rachel. Me.
Oh, Jadea. Jadea. Thank you.
I'm like ET there. Me want Rachel or whatever.
I'm sorry, I just ate food.
Jadea has the range. Thank you then. Who wants to read for Anne? Anne is also a major character.
I would like to read for Anne if I can. I think my microphone sounds better this time.
There is
Yes, I think
no pop at all. It is smooth.
Smooth. Thank you, Vichikita. You will read for Anne. Let's see, Guard 2. Who would like to read for Guard 2? I think you have, like, at most 3 lines. I think you might have 1
I
line.
will take it.
Ooh, thank you, Joel. Who wants to voice Benjamin?
Can I do some fucking jamming?
Oh, yes. Radio guy, do some
Yeah.
Benjamin. Thank you. Who would like to be Man 2? The second man. Not inferior to me, but like just
I
the
can
second
be a
one.
man too.
Thank you, Joe. I'll give like extra peripherals to my fellow co-hosts. That just leaves Man 3 and Press. Ideally, if you speak as Press, you will sound creepy and malicious.
I guess that means I have to do it.
Oh, Dip Dan. Thank you, Dan. You will play as Press.
Sam also wants to depart.
All right, Sam, can I give you Man 3?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Thank you, Sam. You're a bit quiet.
Seconds.
I think I can hear you well enough. See, there's our cast list then. And everyone download that PDF or else just click on Joel's stream. It's probably the easiest way. And yes, Morgana, fire when ready.
All right. Wretch, written by Paul Ramos. Exterior, grass hill, day. A rope hangs from a sturdy branch, slowly sways in the wind. The rope creaks and twists. Hard. Salem witch trials. Interior, jail, night. Rachel, 20, wallows in a dingy, ill-fitted robe, contained within a stone cell. She writes on a sheet of paper. Moonlight from a small barred window seeps into the room.
The Lord has yet to answer my prayers with a yes. Unspeakable deeds have been inflicted upon me, and whilst I wish only to be reunited with you, I fear my time will soon be cut short. Oops.
If I may, this is
Okay.
not the latest version of the script.
Dang it. Sorry.
You're fine. I think it's in our DMs. I think I sent it to you. Like, just scroll up a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that. I must have totally... Okay, yeah, I totally forgot. Sorry, Paul. I'm going to upload the correct version. Hopefully, you can use my full cranial capacity this time instead of making slip-ups like that. That's what I get for coming in late. There we go. I'll delete that old message. And everyone download Wretch-3 PDF. And Joel, if you'll open that up. But yeah, sorry again, Paul. Totally slipped my mind.
Don't worry about it.
But yeah, Morgana, whenever we get it open again, just start from the top.
All right.
Just give me one
Wretch.
second. Give me
Oh.
1 second.
And here I was proud that I got announcements done earlier than usual this week. There we go. Thank you, Jadea. But yes, go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right. Wretch. Again. Exterior, grass hill, day. A rope hangs from a sturdy branch, slowly sways in the wind. The rope creaks and twists. Hard. Salem witch trials. Interior, jail, night. Rachel, 20, wallows in a dingy, ill-fitted robe, contained within a stone cell. Moonlight from a small barred window seeps into the room. A guard, 27, stands facing from the cell in his tall black pilgrim's hat and long white stockings, wields a flintlock musket. A fly buzzes into the cell through the window. The fly flies into the hallway. The guard watches it, wide-eyed.
Witch, I see you've caught upon your familiar.
Oh, it's I.
He fills his barrel with gunpowder.
Please, sir, I'm...
Silence!
He pulls back the hammer, takes aim, and Anne, 15, leaps from the darkness, built like an athlete, sporting an oversized cloak, picks the gun from his hands. Golden light streams up the braces on her arms. She punches him into the wall. Anne reaches into a small sack, blows blue dust into his face. KO.
Steady now, Rachel. He's only sleeping.
You.
Anne loots the guard's keys, unlocks Rachel's cell.
Come on, we're going somewhere safe.
I can't.
A shackle chains her to the wall.
Step back.
The arm braces glow bright orange. Anne pulls apart the chain. Anne and Rachel peek down the hall from the doorway to Rachel's cell. Guard 2, 30, runs out from the darkness. Anne and Rachel get back into the cell.
Help me. It's gonna kill.
A noose swoops around his neck. Guard 2 grabs the rope. More ropes wrap around his limbs and pull him into the darkness. Anne peeks out, whining, ropes creaking. Crack! Silence.
When I engage the beast, it's imperative that you flee.
Rachel watches Anne step out into the hallway. Anne draws a hilt from her belt. Creature's distorted voice croaks. Creature shrouded in darkness.
Foolish child. Step aside.
A blade of bright orange light erupts from the hilt.
So, it's a fight you want.
I'll make it quick.
The light from Anne's arm braces flare up. A barrage of ropes shoot out like arrows at Anne. Anne slashes them all, a flurry of swings and dodges. Anne rushes the creature. More and more ropes just out at Anne, entangling her arms. She pulls away. It yanks her off her feet.
Rachel, run!
Wraps around Anne's legs. Anne's equipment illuminates the creature. A huge mass of ropes. A rope tightens around her waist, causing her to drop her weapon. The creature fully envelops her. Guard 1 wakes up, sees the creature. Exterior jail, moments later. He flees the building, screaming. Interior jail, moments later.
Now he's gotten away, you wench!
An pulls out a rope around her neck. She reaches to the creature's glowing heart, a mere foot out of reach. An pulls herself closer, closer. Her arm braces glow deep red. The ropes around her constrict further. Guard 2's mangled body moves into view. An squirms away from Guard 2.
See that? You're going to be just like him.
An takes a small breath. An lets go of the rope around her neck, shimmies through the ropes, eyes bulging. An grabs the beating heart and rips it in fucking half. A humanoid blue spirit erupts from the heart, shrieks. The ropes collapse around An. An rips the ropes off her neck, coughs.
Apologies, dear child. I haven't a clue what came over me.
Please, just get in. I can help.
An stumbles to her feet, holds out an amulet. Exterior, forest, later. An and Rachel stand at the bottom of a hill. Tall trees surround them.
Here we are.
An reaches into the dirt, lifts up the ground like a carpet, revealing a dark staircase. An?
Sorry, go on now.
Interior, underground base, An's room. Moments later, a lantern hangs from the ceiling. An lights it. Clay covers the walls. Poorly built wooden furniture adorn the room.
You'll be staying with me until we find a place for you.
Second chances like this don't often.
Don't mention it.
Benjamin's room, later. Cleanly carved wooden furniture decorates the room. It's spacious still. Benjamin, 60, sits carving a wooden sculpture. Wears a large black cloak. Knock, knock, knock. Benjamin flinches, cuts his finger.
Damn. Come in.
An enters.
Oh, what is it this time, Anne?
Promise you won't be mad.
I'll do no such thing.
It's
I gotta
Rachel.
take a moment.
She's here.
There we go.
Benjamin
Expression.
sighs, face palms.
Anne, why do you keep doing this?
I lost one family to these people. I will not lose another. And while we are on topic, I should not be the only one fighting these beasts.
I do not need any of us getting hurt.
I'm trying to protect the coven, and I can't continue doing that on my own. I need a team.
I'm done talking about this, Anne.
But if I could convince them,
If I convince anyone, then fine. But you'll have to retrain them yourself.
An smiles, hugs Benjamin. Benjamin grunts.
thank you. I promise you won't regret it.
Ah, that remains to be seen. Do you have anyone in mind yet? I would look at Rachel. I'm certain she feels indebted to you to some degree.
Please, everyone here should.
An's room, later. Lit candles surround an amulet on An's table. An carves at a wooden sculpture.
Can I ask a question?
1.
Are you gonna eat me or something?
We may be witches, but we don't kill.
And what happened to it? The thing at the jail?
She's in this amulet. Soon she'll pass on.
Rachel lays on An's bed.
Have you been doing this very long?
I said one question. That's your third question.
Forgive me, I'm just trying to make sense of things.
I started learning at about 5.
Oh, could you teach me?
Anne stops carving, looks at the rope burn running up her arms. Flashback. Exterior, grass hill, day. Creak! Anne, 5, watches a woman hang from a sturdy branch, slowly swaying in the wind. The rope creaks and twists. Anne sobs.
Try not, child. Your mother is in a better place.
Anne flinches, looks up at Benjamin.
I have something for you.
He crouches down to her level, reaches into his cloak. He extends to Anne a poorly made rag doll. She takes it. Her tears spill out onto it. End flashback. Interior, underground base, Anne's room, continuous. Anne looks at her rope burn.
I'll think about it.
Meeting room, later. Many people, old and young, sit at long tables, bickering with each other. A large podium sits at one end of the room. Benjamin sits in a chair behind it. Anne steps up to the podium.
Excuse me, everyone?
They continue bickering.
Everybody, hear me.
They quiet down.
In light of the recent attacks on the town, and by extension our coven, Benjamin and I have come to the conclusion that more must be done to ensure our safety.
The crowd whispers.
Now that being said, our choices are limited. Choice number 1. Lay down and watch as everyone you know and love die.
The crowd clamors.
Or choice number 2. We fight to show the town that we are better, that we are... that we are better, that we are a community who believes in a future where we are not forced into hiding.
Benjamin shakes his head.
Who's going to join me in this fight? Who's going to join me in defeating the threat that those zealots have created?
Rachel begins to raise her hand. Man 1, 27, slams his hand on the table.
Why must it be our job to clean up their mess? Shall humanity not reap what it sows?
The people around him nod and slam the table.
My
is
family
man
lives
too?
in town. You must be cracked.
Who said that? And that's Vichikita.
Yes, I don't know why that didn't sound. Will you quit it? Who's going to join me?
Rachel stretches her hand higher. Lasagna? I think it's it.
Yeah.
Did you not hear me?
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Ugh. Anyone? Please?
The crowd bickers. Rachel stands on her chair, raises her hand.
Dear!
The crowd quiets down.
Fine, Rachel. You're in. Anyone else?
The crowd sits quietly.
Anyone?
Anne looks behind her. Benjamin's chair sits empty. Exterior,
All right,
forest.
I'm going to cut us off right there. Just because I know it's not as long as some of the other pilots and movies we've been through, but I want to start keeping like an intermission in the middle, just because I think it's a good place to recollect. So we will start in 10 minutes. I don't know, 9 minutes. We'll start at 40 past the hour. That should be good. But we'll see what Rachel and Anne do after that. It's a cool sequence coming up. to recruit people for her team of rescuing like people accused of being witches, and the only person who volunteers is Rachel. Unfortunate for Anne. We'll see how it pans out. But yes, after that slugline, exterior forest evening.
Paul, just before is it on or Anne?
It's Anne.
All right, I was saying on. I apologize.
No, you're fine, man. I don't care.
I blamed Persona 5 because they fucked this up for me because there was an on, they spelled it wrong. Okay.
Persona ruins everything.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Woo!
No laughing. Exterior, forest, evening. Rachel stomps through the woods. She holds a map.
1,999. 2,000.
Wipes sweat from brow.
Good. Good to know you aren't a coward.
Thank you? Anne?
Anne walks out from behind a tree.
Your spatial awareness is disappointing. Lay your belongings on the ground.
Our training starts here?
You straighten up.
Rachel stands tall over Anne. Fixes posture. Taller now.
Show me how you are and why you volunteered.
Kurt and I volunteered to...
Anne's arm braces glow. Bright yellow. Anne socks Rachel in the face. Blood drips from Rachel's nose.
Oh.
I said, show me, not tell me.
Anne squares up.
You want to fight beasts? Huh? You're going to need to spill my blood first.
Rachel raises her fist reluctantly, sniffs up the blood. Rachel winds up a huge punch, rushes Anne. Anne swiftly counters with a left hook.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Rachel grabs Anne. Whack. This time a right hook from Anne. Anne goes to town, pummeling Rachel. Anne's arms braces glow deep orange. Knocks Rachel to her ass with her back against the tree. Rachel tries to get up. Bop, bop, bop. Anne keeps hitting.
Go ahead and hurt me.
Anne's braces glow dark red. Bop, bop, bop.
Do what your people do best and make me bleed.
Rachel shakily raises her arm. Rachel lightly slaps Anne on the cheek.
What are you doing this for?
Yeah, what are you doing this for?
It's... Okay. My brother.
Huh? That's really...
Anne faints on top of Rachel.
Anne? Are you alright?
Interior, underground base, Anne's room, later. Rachel sits on Anne's bed. Anne sits on a chair across from Rachel. They both eat soup from bowls.
So...
They pause.
I'll go first. What makes your brother so worthy dying for?
What made me worth dying for?
Please, it wasn't about you. It was about protecting the coven.
Right. You save me, you save your bunch. Makes sense.
Anne sets down her bowl.
You really don't know anything, do you? The beast I rescued you from was the spirit of one of your own, tainted by the kind of hatred only your people are capable of.
Anne looks to the amulet on the table.
You'd be just like the beast had I not rescued you.
Ounce of hatred for anybody.
Anne turns to Rachel, chuckles.
And today, like, The beginning of your lines keeps like getting lost. Is it like your noise gate or something?
Don't know how to fix that on the phone.
Ah, dang. Maybe like try speaking a bit closer to the mic.
I'm so close, though.
That's okay. I should have. That's fine. We'll take it as it comes. But
Sorry.
don't be sorry. Go ahead, Vichikita.
What a joke. Have you already forgotten the horrors you endured while imprisoned by them?
On a thing.
Anne raises an eyebrow at Rachel.
All this nonsense about your people and my people and this, that, or the other. Before I came here, there was no your people. They were mine, and they still are. Including you, Anne.
Rachel stands.
With or without you, I'm going to protect my brother.
Marches out the room.
Thank you for the meal.
Anne sits, stares at the ground. Interior courthouse, day. The townsfolk sit in the pews. A group of men patch a huge hole in the wall. Anne sits at the back of the room, wears a long black dress. Benjamin sits in a black robe at the front of the room. Two old men sit to his right in tall seats on the stands. Benjamin stands, unrolls parchment paper.
The reason for today's meeting is no doubt a situation that we are all too familiar with. The prisoner known as Rachel Walker is the seventh charged with witchcraft to... Yeah, there we go. Be freed from containment. On that night, a guard from the jail reported to us that the prisoner ran off into the night with a witch, whom had the assistance of a demon in the process of her escape. 3 guards were killed that night. But no more. It is our honor and privilege to announce the presence of a renowned witch hunter, John Clark III.
The crowd whispers amongst each other. Anne's jaw drops, shakes her head. John, 37, stands at the front of the room, gives a nod. Exterior, grass hill, day. Nooses swing from hefty tree branches. Interior, underground base, Benjamin's room, later. Anne kicks down the door.
It is our honor and privilege?
Both of us have appearances to uphold. Do not forget my position, child.
You have to do something about John.
I'll do no such thing. You want me to take him out? Scare him away! I have children, a wife to take care of. I cannot take that risk. I can't.
What about me? Can't I?
You will do nothing, Anne. Am I clear?
But
Scroll down a little more. There we go. I have no plan. Nothing! Do you want to die or be tortured in the there we go. In the town jail? I didn't train you to throw yourself at a dangerous situation. I trained you to defend yourself because I won't always be here to. Don't you understand? There is nothing we can do to stop this.
Tears well up in Anne's eyes. Anne wipes them. Benjamin reaches out to hug Anne. Anne runs out the door. Anne bumps into Rachel, keeps running past her. Rachel turns towards Benjamin's door. Benjamin stands in the hallway by the door, hand on the back of his neck, thighs. Anne's room, later. Crash, crack, swoosh. Anne throws her table at the wall, smashes her chair on the ground. Anne uses her arm braces to rip her bed frame in half. Wood splinters litter the room. Anne catches her breath. Knock, knock, knock.
what do you want?
Thing I've been meaning to give you.
Rachel pulls out a poorly made doll.
To thank you for the second chance you've given me.
You made this?
Yes, I know it's not the most well made, but
Anne closes the door. Anne sits with her back against the door, looks at the doll, closes her eyes. Flashback. Exterior, grass hill, day. Anne, 5, takes the doll from Benjamin. End flashback. Her tears drop onto the doll. Anne finally lets it all out. She sobs, hugs the doll. She's a child again. Rachel takes her ear off the door, walks away. Anne cries, surrounded by the destroyed remains of her room. Interior hallway later. Anne approaches the door to her room, holds a pair of red shoes. She tries the knob. Locked. She checks her pockets. Nothing. She knocks.
Rachel, open up. I've brought you something.
Silence.
Look, I understand if you're still irate about what I did, but right now I need you more than
No response.
also. I'm sorry.
Okay. Apology accepted.
Anne flinches, looks down the hallway. Rachel leans against the wall, crosses her arms.
Are you prepared to obtain the awesome burden that is the abilities of my people?
Wait,
Wait, I think,
Yeah.
we skipped.
One line up, Judea.
Oh, sorry.
Your spatial awareness is disappointing.
Exterior, overlook. Later. The tree growth cuts off just before the rocky cliff overlooking the town. Rachel stands at attention, wears the red shoes. Anne stands across from her.
Are you prepared to obtain the awesome burden that is the abilities of my people?
And try one more
Splendid.
time.
Oh, sorry.
The last part clipped out just there.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I think so.
Sorry.
Splendid. Let us begin.
Anne draws a dagger from her belt. Anne folds her hand across the blade. She drags the edge down the palm of her hand. Blood gushes out of it.
But what are you doing?
Relax, Rachel. You'll get used to it.
Oh, what?
All right, now, give me your hand.
No chance.
Don't be a child now. Give me your hand.
Rachel wrestles Anne. Anne's blood gets all over Rachel.
You are not gonna cut me with that blade.
Come on, it'll only take a second.
Ow, you got me, alright?
Let me see.
No, it's really bad.
Just let me see.
Gunfire rings from the town. Anne and Rachel take notice. People scatter like cockroaches. More gunshots. Anne takes advantage of the distraction, grabs Rachel's hand, cuts the palm.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
This is the only way you're going to learn magic.
Anne takes Rachel's bloody hand with hers. Rachel winces.
Congratulations, you're officially a witch.
The gunshots continue. Anne hands Rachel a rag. Anne draws a telescope from her belt. Telescope POV. Press 36 sports a trench coat. A dirty sack obscures his face. Press swings to two giant stone blocks connected to the ends of each of his arms. Crushes a person between them.
Ugh. Another one of these. Looks like your training is going to be hands-on. Come on.
Anne and Rachel run through the woods together.
Town, Anne.
Another one of
Again,
your...
hello? Okay.
Go ahead, Vichikita.
Okay.
Another one of your own. Pressed to death quite recently.
Courthouse steps moments later. Man 3 crawls away from Press. Press smashes the man's legs. The man's leg with his large stone slab. The man screams in pain.
Please, somebody help!
Help! Somebody help!
Press raises his enormous stone slabs.
You sound just like I did at the press. What a sound!
Press slams the man's other leg. The man screams. He hovers over his stone slabs over the man's torso.
Hey, Press! Not so fast.
Anne and Rachel stand side by side. The braces on Anne's arms glow bright yellow.
You get to suffer a little longer.
Press turns his slabs towards Anne.
I do.
Tap your heels together 3 times and keep everybody out of our way while I tear out his heart.
All right.
Tap. Tap, tack, ding. Pin stab the bottom of Rachel's heels. Rachel stands on her toes. Her shoes glow bright yellow.
What was that?
Run, Rachel, run!
Rachel sprints into the village, leaves a large dust cloud. Town square. People run about in all directions.
People, run that way.
Rachel runs back and forth, winces in pain, blocks people from running towards the fight. Courthouse steps, moments later. Anne activates her shoes.
Nice trick, girl. What do you think of mine?
Press shoots his stone slab of a hand at Anne. Anne launches herself into the air. Press throws another punch with his other slab. Anne draws a wooden handle from her belt. Zing! A glowing yellow shield erupts from the handle. Anne parries the slab. It crashes into the building.
What?
Anne catches Press's arm. Slides down it like a zip line. Anne draws a dagger. Flings it at Press's head. Stab!
Ah! You ghastly girl!
Press's hands, slabs shrink. Slabs grow in place of his feet. Press winds up a kick, punts Anne. Anne flies into a window. Anne crashes through a table and some chairs.
Ouch.
Town square. Rachel's shoes glow dark orange.
Everyone.
Rachel spots Elijah, 16, scrawny, wears a navy blue blazer and socks up to his knees, stands paralyzed in fear.
Yeah.
Rachel runs towards Elijah. Press walks up the road, aims his arm slab.
Stay still, boy.
Press launches one slab at Elijah. Anne sprints up the road towards Press. Press shoots his other slab at Anne. Anne monkey faults over his slab. Draws her hilt. Rachel grabs Elijah. Launches herself into the air. Elijah snaps out of it.
Murderer.
Elijah pushes Rachel away. They both plummet to the ground. Anne plunges her glowing red sword into Press's heart. Drags the blade up his body, splitting him nearly in half. A humanoid blue spirit emerges from the body like a snake, shedding its skin. The spirit screams. Elijah runs away.
You're gonna have to say it one more time.
Again? Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Hey! There we go.
I heard it there. Yeah. Rachel scrambles to her feet to follow.
Rachel.
Rachel pursues Elijah.
I don't want anything to do with you.
Rachel's shoes glow bright red. She speeds up, grabs him by his blazer collar.
From me.
Because you're not just a witch. You're a killer. 3 guards, Rachel. You killed 3 of them.
Rachel reaches out to hug him.
You don't understand.
And I don't want to.
Elijah runs away. Tears well up in Rachel's eyes. Anne walks up behind Rachel.
Who's the boy?
Rachel wipes the tears from her eyes. Lasagna, you're gonna have to say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fucking kill someone! He's my brother!
The end.
Yeah. We're gonna have to
But-
get your noise gate figured out. There's something up with it.
No,
yeah,
There's
Rob-
something wrong with
Just
this
a mic
phone.
sensitivity issue.
Yeah,
It's my
probably-
phone. You can't fix your mic sensitivity on a phone.
Yes, you can. What do you mean? It's,
No, I
you go into the
can't.
Discord sound settings.
Your mom. Anyway.
Well,
let's see.
damn, immediately lost the argument. Shut down.
Oh, Lord. We'll
Goodbye.
figure it out later.
Let's see this shit.
Get bodied,
job.
Paul.
Wish she told me
Good
that.
job reading,
sooner.
everyone. Good job with direction, Morgana. Dan, really loved you as Press. You really caught the demonic, vengeful energy. I respect your mom, Paul, for what it's worth. But we'll start with feedback now. After the reading, I hope you all had as much fun as I did. Feedback we're looking for: would you continue to watch this if it was a show? It's pretty simple. And I might have to run for a moment. I'll be back. But let's see. Carmen, would you want to start with feedback? Or Joel? Joel is technically at the top as well because you're streaming. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear? Yes, I can hear you.
Hi. I don't know structure. Pilot structure. So I don't really know what to say about that. I did keep picturing cartoon images with this. I in the beginning, I didn't think that the card that said Salem Witch Trials was necessary because it was pretty clear with what was coming next that was the context. So the beginning I didn't start off seeing cartoon images. That happened later on. There was a change in the tone that I think triggered the actual, going from real people images to cartoon images. I think that I need to read the script to be able to give additional feedback. So that's all I have.
Cool, thank you, Carmen. Cinnamon, do you have any feedback? Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I do. Let's see. So, yeah, I thought you got like a good amount of story in. I feel like a good amount of things happened in the episode. I don't feel like it was just stagnant. I thought that her brother turning against her at the end makes it interesting and sort of adds some nuance to what decision is good or bad. And I also liked the monsters. I thought they were interesting monsters, and I liked the reveal that they were the different, well, at least I think that was the reveal, that they were the different ways that townspeople had killed previous witches. I think that's what it was. And like I didn't see that coming, but I was on board with it, and that like the series can have all these different monsters that are different, created by different forms of murder, I guess. Let's see. I sort of made notes as we went through, so it sort of starts at the beginning here. Let's see. So there was a couple times when it was hard for me to picture how action was happening. So like when when it says Anne leaps from the darkness at the beginning, I had thought she was like in the cell, and I had to reread it like 3 times to figure out that she was outside the cell, maybe behind the guard, jumping on the guard. And at the beginning, I was wondering if Anne showed up in order to defeat the beast, or if she was coming to rescue Rachel. I don't know that it was quite defined, and maybe it doesn't need to because it could be defined like in a later episode. But I wasn't quite sure why the beast was even there, like if it came to eat Rachel or to try to get revenge on the guards or what was happening. And I was picturing the beast, I pictured it like a giant Tasmanian devil made of ropes. I don't know if that was correct, but I pictured it with like all the ropes rotating around the little heart in the middle. In the crowd scene after that, the one where Rachel volunteers, well, I gotta say I was a little confused about the politics in this in general because I guess it was just the townspeople wanting to kill the witches, but then it seemed like there was maybe multiple groups of townspeople that wanted different things because there was like Rachel's townspeople and other townspeople, and I didn't quite know what the townspeople's goal was. And I guess there really are real witches, but maybe they're good, or maybe some of them are bad, and maybe the townspeople are killing some real witches and some not real witches like Rachel was, I think. And oh yeah, I just wrote when she has to shout so loud to volunteer. I didn't get the impression that the crowd was being so loud, so maybe just more description of how like everybody's clamoring over each other. And then when they say, I think they need people to fight the witches, I wasn't sure what they meant. Like, does that mean everybody goes out with like they give guns out, or there's some other way to fight the witches, or just report the witches if you see them? I just didn't know specifically like what they wanted. Let's see, and then I guess let's see, there was just a map, and I guess there was paces marked out on the map, so she's counting her steps. And so I thought it was saying that Anne for some reason I thought Anne was assuming that Rachel had magic powers, and then, but it seemed like maybe then later Anne clearly didn't think Rachel had magic powers, but I guess I thought that's why Anne or someone wanted Rachel to volunteer. And then this is what it was. I wrote it later. I didn't understand if the townspeople wanted volunteers to fight the beasts or to like suss out witches or harmful people in the town. So I wasn't sure which one they were wanting volunteers for, or if it's both. So I didn't know if in general everybody's mad about the fact that the beasts are attacking, or if they're wanting to catch witches, because it seemed like the witches were stopping the beasts, but maybe they wanted to get rid of both. Later she says, have you forgotten the horrors you endured? And I was thinking maybe it would be nice to see the horrors that Rachel endures at the beginning and give us an impression of like what it's like in the jail. Because actually I spent most of the beginning assuming that she really was a real witch for being in jail for being a witch. I also thought that, well, because it seems like they're wanting to kill witches with all these different methods, like with the ropes and the stones and things. So like, what's the explanation for why? I assume the monsters are all going to be different, or maybe we're just going to get a bunch of rope and stone beasts. But I was thinking like, maybe they're wanting to kill the witches with different methods. So maybe it's something about like it's not working, so every witch gets killed by a different method or something. But then it kind of seemed like they just wanted to shoot her at the beginning. So I don't know, maybe there could be some explanation of the new creative murder, or just something that makes us see how bad it is in the jail.
We're gonna have to stop you
Yeah.
there.
Cinnamon,
We try and
What'd you say?
have it.
Keep it down?
try and-
Okay,
Yeah, we try and have 5
Great.
minutes for each person. If you have more feedback,
Great.
you can leave it in the chat though.
will do. Thank you. And I enjoyed hearing the script, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Cinnamon. Colin says to skip them. Let's see, Judea says in the chat earlier, while reading through, I felt a little weird about the pacing of it all, like everything went by a bit too fast. Some scenes just felt awkward to me, mostly the scenes between Anne and Rachel, I believe. Also, why is the first creature just creature while the second is press? Thank you, Judea. Dan, any feedback?
Yes. All right.
Ooh.
We're on. First of all, I thought we had got more coins for reading a pilot, but whatever. That's not important. What is important is the fact that this feels like a script we have read almost like the same places, right down to the fact when she's volunteering and going, hey, pick me, and then Rachel is just being a jerk. Like saying, does any real person want to do this? I gave this feedback last time we read this. In fact, I want to kind of go through the old version to see what differences there are in this version of the script after a month of difference. So there is that to consider. The character of Press is kind of talked to like he's just like some sort of villain of the week that shows up over and over again, saying, damn it, Press, you're attacking again. That's the third time this week. Golly. I don't know. It feels a little odd. There's something interesting to this, but it doesn't feel very... Other than the fact that some people are hanging, the tone doesn't come across as Salem Trials era type of things. I still don't really feel a strong connection to either character. I mean, yeah, okay, the character had had her mom hang, and the other one had just been freed, but the tone for such a world feels a little casual. So maybe it just doesn't. It feels a little too modern for it almost seems like it's a parody of the witch trial era, in that people talk like they're in a modern time, or not parody, satirical. But it's not a comedy, so I don't see it like that. Just hard to explain. It doesn't feel like I don't really get the sense that we are in a Salem era 1650 to 1700s era stuff. Is going in. Where was I? Still have 2 minutes. So yeah, I guess I gotta ask, what was changed from this version from the last one you shared? Was it a month ago? Because it looks very similar, and I don't want to just keep repeating I don't want to repeat a lot of the same feedback I've given before. Well, let's just keep moving, even though we're really not time pressed. I'll take the finished now.
Thanks, Dan. And any more questions that you guys have can be put in the text chat. But I definitely don't be afraid to ask things there. As we've said, we try not to have dialogue between like feedbackers and writer, but like you guys can type things if you want. So yes, thank you, Dan and Dacia. Any feedback? Okay, thank you, Dacia. You're gonna have to tell me how to say this. Elotes con mayonnaise. I didn't say that right. Do you have any feedback? Oh, they're typing. I'll read that when you type. Oh, Merrickson says corn with mayo. That makes sense. I would have thought maize, but maybe. I don't know. I don't know jack about shit. Oh. They say, well, I did feel a little lost during that, I'll admit. I'm gonna read the rest of that as you type it, mayonnaise. I'm gonna go on for now to, whoops. Meep has to go, but Meep says, I do have to jet, unfortunately, but I did enjoy this rewrite, Paul. You cleaned it up and made it a lot easier to digest. The action in it reads well, but I can agree that it does feel a little flat in terms of its setting and tone, now that I hear others make the same assertion. But I'll need to read it over again to give more concrete feedback still. Good job. Thanks, Meep. But yeah. Heated, were you here for the reading? There were a lot of people here. Dan says, I do want to compare versions because I noticed a lot of similarity down to the same lines being verbatim for almost everyone. Oh, that's okay, Heated. Judea. Any more feedback from
hello.
earlier? From what was left out earlier?
Okay, so I feel like I have something to say, but I feel like I'll need to type it. So goodbye.
Okay. Yeah, we can always come back to you, or I can read your typing aloud. Thank you, Jadea. Loka Vidu, any feedback?
I'm terribly sorry. I tuned in very late, so I'm afraid I just caught the back end of that. So no feedback from me. Thank you.
All right. Merrickson, any feedback? Another British person.
What's that?
How many?
Oh,
There was just this instance weeks ago where someone like said in a really low, scandalous, like, "Are you guys British?" And that's what that comment reminded me of. But yes,
we'll have
Merrickson,
a
go ahead.
It's bloody fantastic that we have British people in here.
Oh,
Yeah, so I agree with a lot of what Cinnamon said. I still really like the script though, and the concepts I think are the strongest things about it. I don't know. I think Paul told me it wasn't supposed to be like a strict Salem witch trials adaptation. It was supposed to be kind of like using that as a backdrop, and then he was going to put like all this like different magical tones on it. So I don't know. I'm keeping an open mind about that. I still really like the relationship between Anne and Rachel. The ending I think is also pretty strong. Where the character says, "I don't want to understand." Um, yeah, maybe just like some fine tuning. I think there might be like the possibility that you're keeping one or two concepts. I guess you're using too like just a few too many concepts there. You could simplify it, I guess. Just make it this bond between these two girls as the main, the main theme you could go for, I guess. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Merrickson. And now our master of endurance, Morgana. Any feedback? This wasn't like a terribly long script. Like any TV pilot or features, it's still long to read direction for.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was honestly the only bad thing about it is like it was hard because I was focusing on reading. I guess I would agree with Dan a little bit in regards to like maybe the setting. I do see a lot of potential in this. I actually see a lot of like this could be Full Metal Alchemist-esque with the two characters and if you flesh out the harrowing backstory and all of that. Action line wise, maybe there were a few moments where like you could replace Anne with she, but that's such a minor nitpick. But that does like I think help somewhat, like the reader, whoever reads this at script reader at Universal or whatever, who knows. But yeah, I see a lot of Full Metal Alchemist in this, which I'm a fan of. I just named a Universal, could be Warner Brothers. I just named whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's really. I wish I had more. I might have to read this again because I was just trying to make sure I didn't screw up and cough in the middle of this. But yeah.
Thank you, Morgana. Let's see, Cinnamon says, I'm reading all this out because like we only had the one script today and we still have we're not too far into the event. Cinnamon says, I need you more than I hate you, and says, didn't seem like hatred before, just a disagreement. Confused by Anne, what does she want? Thought she wanted people to join her, but then saying she hates Rachel after Rachel comes to her for help. Is it because Rachel wants to help her brother and not the witches? Is it because Rachel is too weak? Why gunfire from town? Shooting or imprisoning witches? Can they die by gunfire or need to be burnt? Or have the different weird murder methods? You get to be a witch by having a witch cut your palm? Seems too easy. Is there any consorting with devil also? Would like press described when introduced. Thought he was a townsperson rather than a creature at first. Slides down arm like a zipline. Oh, he must be huge. I think he is huge. I really like that, if I'm right about the monsters. The people are trying to kill demons, but they're actually creating the demons and monsters by themselves. Is there any remnant of original person who was killed when they turn into monsters, or just wanton killers? Are witches or townspeople killed to make them? Maybe in first scene, guards can be talking about a new creative way to kill Rachel, to begin the story of different creative murder methods. Why does Anne keep fighting with just a hilt? Or is it just a sword that includes a hilt? If so, responses to a lot of that, I think that Paul could answer better. But in the last one, I was wondering that too. I think a hilt is part of a sword. And if so, it seems sort of like she drives her wheel up to the side of the road. Like you wouldn't say drive.
It's kind of
your
like
wheel.
like a lightsaber. How you would just draw the hilt. You would.
Oh yeah, the blade like comes out
And
after
then
you.
the blade comes out like. No, I don't.
Oh. Okay, I think you actually told me that before, come to think of it. But yeah, so it is just a hilt, but like once you wield it, like the blade comes out. Got it. Well, thank you, Cinnamon. And yes, let's see. Mutant llama? Were you here for the reading? Or did you just come in?
Yeah. I mean, I came in around 4:30.
Okay. Did you catch any of the script then?
I wasn't paying too much attention.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry.
Let's see. Nacho, did you have any feedback?
Yeah, I'm still reading it, so I'm a little behind, so maybe come back to me later.
Oh, that's all right. Radio Guy, aka Benjamin. Do you have any feedback for the script?
Press the button. There we go. All right. So looking at my notes, so yeah, it feels a lot of it, like the vibe that I'm getting from it, it feels very much like a one-off movie. Like this feels like I don't know. It feels more movie-like than show-like. That could just be me though, because I mean, like Morgana had like mentioned like it being like Full Metal Alchemist-esque, but ah, fuck, I'm mumbling. Anywho, the ending was the only part that felt like it could be part of a serialized show. I don't know how exactly you could fix that, but I'm just saying that that's what I got out of it. Just letting you know that. Just giving you a little heads up. Anywho, and yeah, at the beginning I couldn't exactly tell. I remember someone else mentioned this, but yeah, I do agree that like I couldn't exactly tell who was in the cell and who wasn't in the cell, and like where Anne was spatially. And yeah, so there's that, and like maybe like a little bit more clearness in the action lines could help out with that. Now that was a lot of lemon water, so let me and dynamic was friggin' killer. They work off each other pretty darn well, and uh it's either my brain was being less stupid or this script is like definitely a lot more clear than last time because I could actually better follow the story. Because I do remember last time I was being a little dummy. I couldn't follow along. So yeah, that's so this is pretty good. I can't wait to see where this goes. And
Did we lose you to the ether?
And
oh no! I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose.
Good,
Don't worry.
good. Okay. Thank you, Radio Guy. Let's see. Sam. Hang on, let me. Judea says, by awkward scene between Anne and Rachel, I guess I mean that their scenes together just fall flat to me. I agree with Merrickson saying to maybe focus on the relationship between these two more. I guess it doesn't feel like the setting is being utilized enough. Weird shit happened during the witch trials. Make it weirder. That's my feedback. I just feel like there isn't much impact in these scenes. You have a good idea as to what you're going for, but I guess I'd like to see them expanded upon and made maybe more dramatic. As of now, it's just a funky, but I don't know if that's just the olden times stuff. Thanks to Dea. Did anyone... Merrickson says, in addition to playing around with the dead people being turned into some monstrous variant of however way they were killed, you could also play around with how different the witches' powers could be depending on their training and personal trauma. Ooh, trauma powers. But if I could cut in just a second, I love the idea of, like, these tortured souls, like, being brought back in the form of whatever fate they suffered. It's like, I don't know, something about the monster collecting anime part of me, like Pokemon or Digimon or whatever, like collecting the different ones and like seeing the cool designs. That just really appeals to me. But yes. Let's see, Sam, did you post something earlier, Sam, or have you not? I don't think you've gone yet. Unless you did.
Hello? Okay, no, well,
There you are.
No, I haven't. No, not yet. I was going to just say in voice. I just thought might as well.
Yeah?
No, I think I was just literally going to say, Paul. I mean, I think I've already read it before, so like I feel like this is quite similar to like what I read. So I feel like a lot of my feedback would probably be the same, but I did see that the ending had changed. So like I was going to say, like I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there wasn't much of a setup to like the whole like brother twist kind of thing, and I think like maybe just like saying that up a bit more, like how that raises the stakes would be like a better sort of like impact kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. Also, I think like one of my sort of main like critiques, I think, is still like the opening, because I feel like we're just thrust into the story and there's like no like sort of establishment of like equilibrium, so like before. So like I don't know, because I like when I like just reading it again, I just felt like, yeah, like I think it just doesn't feel right, because like I'm already getting like a taste of like what the world is like and like how it feels to like me as like the reader, and what like and because there's like suddenly all these like monsters that are coming out, it's like, oh great, but how is this different? Is this like the everyday? I don't, like, because yeah, I don't know, because it's quite hard to understand the impact, like the uh like like why it's such an issue. But yeah, I think the idea is that I feel like you should at least spend some time like just building up like sort of the setting, like the world building, before like the introduction of and to like Rachel and stuff. But in I think apart from that, I think, as I said, I'd like literally like most of my comments would probably be like very similar, because to be fair, like I remember you saying like just before the start of the script reading, you were saying like this is before you're gonna write some like major sort of story overhaul. So I would really like to see some of that, just like what you're planning to do and stuff, because I think that could like really benefit from you could do that really well here. Just try and like revamp the story, and just like sort of like set these like sort of pieces up along the way better. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sam. Ichikita, any feedback?
Yes, in general, I like the dynamic that you had with Rachel and Anne. I think they are both cute in their own ways. And mostly everyone else has said like the things that I also noticed. Like the kind of time period, I don't know if you used it as an excuse for it to happen in this moment, but the way they talked sounded a little bit too like modern, if I can say it like that. Also, I missed a bit of the description from the first monster, like someone already said. I kind of would have liked to know how it looked like. And also, I don't feel there's a problem with the pacing since you've got like 30 pages, so it has to move fast. But I think I really like the world you're inventing with this. It is really interesting. And I don't know if we are going to see like the same types of monsters once and again, because I don't know if you're gonna put all the ways that witches were tortured. Some were a bit gruesome for putting them on like a TV show, or I don't know how you would portray them. But it would be interesting to see more monsters. I really would like to keep on reading this and see more episodes.
Thank you, Vichikita. And Zach, any feedback?
So I did give Paul a few notes in PDF, but I think this is the one that you were talking about, possibly a manga graphic novel, and I don't know what you want to do with it this time, whether you want to go down the pilot route, but in both instances, and sort of alluding to what everybody else has said, you have a lot more pages to play with. If you go towards the pilot route as a 30-minute pilot, you could probably get another 10, 15 pages of material, which will help you obviously expand the relationship between Rachel and Anne, bring in Elijah a little more, possibly focus on Press or Creature for a few more scenes and a few more pages to build up that threat. But there's probably more to the story that you just haven't yet put in to this pilot, and you should do, because obviously we all seem to like it. We all seem to want to explore more. But all the questions people have asked, put more in. You've got loads of pages to play with. You might as well. That's it from me.
Thank you, Zach. Anyone else with feedback that we didn't get to? My input on, and I suck at names, but my input for what you decide to call Creature, if you decide to give it a name, I think you should call it Strangle because of the ropes. But that's it's only one suggestion. But yeah, I guess if that's all, I guess the dialect that you want to go. Oh wait. Yeah, I guess the dialect that you want to go with, it is weird that it doesn't seem of the time, but like, I guess that depends if you indicate to the audience that you want to be like super accurate to the time, like if it's, I don't know, how seriously like the time it's taken place in is supposed to be taken, but I don't know, what am I trying to say? Having their modern pattern of speech might add to a sense of surrealism, or I'll think of a better way to word that later. But yes, if you do want to really lean into it taking place centuries ago, then yes, you would have to change their manner of speech a little bit. Radio Guy says, all kidding aside, I have a feeling a meetup with all of us could be chaotic
That's
and
not
fun.
feedback. That's not feedback. That's not feedback.
No, I just saw it, and man, what a horrible fate for a giant inflatable bouncy house to suffer. How could you? Like, I can take baby in a blender talk, but I will not. I draw the line at bouncy houses. It's a great thing to take out of context. But, yeah, if that's all the feedback we have for tonight, that was the only script we had for... Oh, wait. Nacho?
Yeah, I have feedback. I didn't quite read the last couple pages, but I read most of it. I would say like I think my biggest note is just like it's not clear. Like at first, it seemed like Rachel is going to be the protagonist, and then for like 90% of the script, it's like Anne's story. But it's not clear like Anne's goal in the episode or what the show is going to be. Like what is going to be a typical episode of the show, so if we're setting up like a big goal that's going to take years and years, like catch all the dead witch monsters or something or whatever it is. I mean, I think the concept of like people getting put to witches getting put to death turning into monsters is pretty cool, and that it has to do with the kind of execution method is pretty cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. I really liked your opening, like the opening lines, the rope hangs from a sturdy branch, and just that's pretty cool. I guess like I think the biggest thing I would say is just really decide like who is the protagonist of the pilot. I think it's Anne. Seems like it's meant to be Anne. That's okay. If it is, then really lean into that. Give Anne a goal that's going to be very difficult for this episode, something she wants really, really badly. And the scene that I think probably your strongest scene was the courtroom scene. That was kind of like an interesting, the other thing is not clear, like the relationships. Like I thought Benjamin is like Anne and Rachel's dad, and Anne and Rachel were sisters because she keeps talking like I rescued my family and Rachel's my family. And it just wasn't clear like how are these people related? But I think just really lean into, I think Rachel might make a better protagonist, but just pick one of them and really make it clear like, okay, this person wants something really bad in this episode, and this is the obstacles in the way, like blocking them from doing this thing they're trying to do. And then like, I think that it will be a lot easier to structure like your act 1, act 2, and act 3. I think this could definitely be a half hour. It will be a lot easier if you make it a 1 hour, because like half hour are just, there's only so many pages. You have to do so much. One of the biggest like issues I think is that you have these people, complaining about attacks in the town and things going on, and you didn't have, enough pages to really set that up, or you didn't set it up like what is the normal world before these things attack, or what is Rachel's normal world or Anne's normal world before the inciting incident sort of like forces, shakes up her world and forces her to act, right? So that was just kind of my biggest notes. Just smaller things like parentheticals, like just move them out to the action lines. Like if you're talking about, movements and blocking and stuff, just save the parentheticals for like, clarifying meaning, like it's somebody saying something sarcastic or something. And just a big thing is emotional reactions are missing. A lot of the scenes, there's no emotional reaction from Anne to what's going on, no emotional action from Rachel. In some parts, it does get good. Like I think in the scene in the courtroom, Anne has, strong reactions to what Benjamin's doing. But if we start out, we're in Rachel's head, we're kind of watching this from Rachel's point of view. And, it's just sort of like a lot of action, but we don't see like, what does Rachel want? How does she react to this person, like breaking into her cell and this monster and, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, just a couple other things. Some of the scenes, it seemed like the action was spilling over into different locations. And so you may need to set up like, exterior Rachel's cell or exterior Benjamin's office and that kind of stuff, but those aren't really big deals. Just mainly, I think you need a clear protagonist goal to like, use as the scaffolding for this whole episode. And that's kind of missing right now. But great, cool world. And then also a lot of the dialogue is a little bit just feels a little bit inappropriate for the time period. I would consider you don't need to go like, it doesn't need to be like super realistic like the Vitch, but it's probably worth like looking at some of that kind of dialogue just to give it more flavor, like to feel like this is in the 1600s. But it's, yeah, really cool world and great, very original concept.
Thank you, Nacho. And Joel, did I call on you yet? I assume if you had feedback, you would have said it by now.
You didn't call on me, but it's okay because I don't have anything to add. Thanks for submitting, though.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Nacho. Thanks, Joel. Yeah. I've seen a couple drafts of this, but if I have intelligent feedback to give, I'll give it to you later. As of now, no. I'm happy to see another draft of it, but I don't have anything helpful yet. I love seeing it, though. I really love this world and the characters. Sad and backstory. Oh, I love when the tough one has a sad backstory. But yeah, this was our only script from tonight. Any one of you can submit a 5-page script for us to read. And if any of you have 100 script coins, then you can submit a full-length TV pilot or feature read, like this very one. But yeah, participate in events, read at events, write things for me to see, because I always love seeing all the different types of submissions we get. We have many, many different types of voices here. If you want to know what to go to, like, go to the event roster, you will see no shortage of stuff to do. There's like so much. We have so many notifications on this server, like people mute us for a reason. There's just so many things to go to. So go to them and learn and interact and have fun. But yes, as always, I hope everyone has had as much fun as I had tonight. Thank you, Paul, for sharing. Hope some of the feedback helps out. And yes, I will see you all next week. Have a good one, guys.